Okay, just a warning for all of those patients who are using my materials. Okay, just a warning, because I realized that there might be some issues with regards to the punctuation for some of the intentions. That some of you might change it because there are obviously some punctuation mistakes and some errors maybe you will see. Okay, even in the grammar and that there's errors, definitely. But it worked then, and we were trying to explain something when we were writing the intentions. We're trying to explain something and use my own words to basically explain something and what I was trying to get out of the intention, basically, and what I had to cover. You see, there's obviously some of the spiritual diseases. I had to think of a way of writing the intentions to cover all possible scenarios for that particular disease. And when you're doing this, sometimes you might find a word which I might use in there, all. For you, it might just be all, but for me, it has maybe different meanings in there when I'm writing, because I'm thinking of all the different scenarios I'm going to be dealing with when I write that word in there. So, just to cut long story short, just please leave the intentions how they are. Leave them how they are. Don't touch them. Don't even correct the punctuation mistakes. Okay? We found that even for what the final cure comprehensive diagnosis, the final cure one, there is an issue right at the end where we, and I actually did this yesterday. I thought, oh, there's a mistake there. I don't usually write it like that. Let me correct this. And then I remembered something. Alhamdulillah, Allah reminded me that that's how we left it. And there's a reason why we left it like that. So if you click the link in the description, and you'll see you'll get the new document, which is the Relief Ruqya 5.0. And you scroll down to, what is it, number 10. Scroll down to section 10, basically. Okay. Now you see the final cure, and it's been updated. Right at the end of it, you'll see that you got the sentence there. All of this intention is according to your knowledge. We didn't put a full stop there. Usually we did put a full stop there. And then before the all, we usually put a full stop. We put a comma there. Now I wrote this one with one of my students. Retried it out. When we did it like this, it worked brilliantly. And then afterwards, I think we found a mistake. Oh, look what we've done over here. Then we changed it. And it didn't work as good as this one. Now, the reason why that could have happened, Allah knows best the real reason. But it could have happened now because how it is there, when I'm writing it, there is a meaning. There's a hidden meaning in these words. Basically, I'm trying to think of all the possible scenarios where the jinns are on these deterrent pathways. I'm trying to think of everything. And maybe when I wrote it, that sort of understanding was there in the intention, you see. So maybe I'm just guessing. Maybe it could be something to do with that. You see, and that when I did the intention like that with the mistake in there, it was perfect in the sense that I had put all of the meanings that I needed to put in there, basically. And we're talking about here, maybe some hidden meanings, and I'm just guessing it might not be this, but I'm just thinking it might be that, because when we saw the mistake, then I wanted to correct it, and then we found out, wait a minute, the corrected one is not as good as this one. So when I was looking at it like this, I said, that's a bit. So then I remember my student checking it as well and doing the diagnosis on herself as well. And she said, no, it's not right side. It's not. That other one is, this one is better. This works better. I said, I don't understand this. This is strange. So khair. So what we did in the end, we left it like that. So if some of you have seen this and thinking that, why has he done that for? Just leave it alone. Don't touch it. Okay, like I said, it might be something to do when I did the first version of this, when I did that version, and that end part, because of maybe some hidden meanings, and I was thinking of some things there, and maybe when I wrote it, that first example, I made it maybe more broader. The intention was more broader, All of this intention, maybe something to do with that. All of this intention is according to your knowledge. It could be something like that. Allah knows best. I've got a feeling it's that. But I might be totally wrong. The real reason we won't know, we may never know. You see, all we need to know is that this version works better than the corrected version. And we've seen this from experience. What's the real reason? Well, I don't know really. This works, so khalas, just use this one and don't try to change it. If you start changing these intentions, it's not going to work, because these been tried and tested. So don't come up with your own intentions, please. Just leave them like this. And don't be like that sister who I said to her, why are you doing the treatment like that for, sister? I told you to do it like this. This is what we know from experience. She says, no, I want to do it like this. And then that's this. And then she did it like that. And then it didn't work for her. You know, and then I think from today, she's still, even from now, she's still ill. You see? So don't be like that, sister. Just when I say something, I don't even know the real reason. Some of you may be even asking me, why is it like this? I said, I don't know. It worked. Khalas. If it's not broken, let's not fix it. Just leave it alone. Okay? Just leave it in the way it is like this and just leave it. It works like that. It works quite well. Alhamdulillah. So just leave it. There's no need for you to interfere in that. So and this applies to all of the intentions. Just leave them alone. Okay, from we were seeing, even the updates I did yesterday, the day before, they're all good as well. We got feedback from them through diagnosis, alhamdulillah, that they're all good. And Iblis can't find any issues with them, even with the little improvements with them. Because those improvements just made it more precise. That's what it was doing, make more precision, really, you know. So you get, I think you're going to get your reactions much quicker, you see. So because of that precision with the with putting in that intention, all of my, instead of saying the spiritual disease, you made it very specific to yourself, all of my spiritual diseases. And that's one of the phrases that we added to those intentions. So please leave them alone. Now, sisters usually have a problem with these little punctuation things like this. They're the ones who tend to like to play around with these things. Okay, you know. Leave them alone. Just leave it the way it is, okay? Yes, it might not make sense or anything like that. It doesn't make sense to have all with after the comma, no, and then you got a capital letter. The punctuation is all messed up, okay? But it worked. So if it worked, just leave it alone. You see, that might have even just been a test for me and that student. Once we had seen that one worked better, we're gonna come out and say, well, you know what? I mean, maybe it was just that Allah's testing us with it. It could be, and it's just that is Allah made this one to be the final diagnosis that we should use, rather than the one with the correct punctuation. You see, so we just got to leave this alone and just follow this way, follow this one, and don't do something on your own. Okay, don't do something on your own. Come up with your own thing, and that applies to all of the other diagnoses. Leave them alone the way they are. Go by what you've got there on the website. Don't make up your own ones, even if they're very similar meaning words. If you remember, I told you once about the word latest and current. I used to use regularly current for my definition. The current definition of this, the current definition, the current version. I used to use that a lot in the intentions. Once or twice I decided to use the latest. It's no difference really. Synonym, so it should be all right, you know. So, and I did that, and what happened caused problems. We had to do reset ruqya. Even myself, I had to do a reset ruqya because of that word, latest. And I only used it maybe 2 or 3 times. But we had to do get rid of it all, you see. So, that's the way things are. And most of the knowledge here you're going to see, most of my ruqya knowledge that I've got is from experience. 50% of my knowledge is basically trying things out on myself first of all before I try it on the patients. You know, I'll try it on mine. It works for me. Okay, let me try it on my patients now. So 50% of the knowledge is like that, and that's how medicine, most of it is anyway. When you look at the doctors and that, what is it? A lot of it is just experiments, trying things out and seeing what works. They make some new medicine, they try it out on the patients. It works, okay, and they learn from their mistakes. So trial and error, and that's what you do here in this situation. So we have learned from our mistakes that when you tried to correct something like this, it didn't work. Couldn't believe it, first of all. Obviously, in the company, what's going on here? We've done it before, the other sentence. Why isn't it working here? It worked previously when we did it. How come it's not working for this final cure diagnosis? And we really don't know the answer. I've given you some sort of, at the beginning of this video, some sort of explanation, which I think maybe that's the reason. But Allahu A'lam, I do not know. All you need to know, just leave it alone and just go by that. Don't go try to fix it and then say, no, I'm going to do my own thing. Don't be like that, sister. Just take my advice and do it, inshallah ta'ala. If you want to do your own methodology and that, fine, you can go do your own methodology. You can take this as a base and do, there's no harm, you can go do that. But right now, if you want to use my methodology, just leave it like this. I don't know. You know, just if you're going to use my methodology, just leave it like this. Don't add to it. Don't play around with it. All of the intentions you see, don't leave them alone. You know, just the way I've got it there, keep it the same way. Okay. I hope that's clear.